Good morning, good morning, good morning. Welcome to Takeover Tuesdays. I'm your host, Jessica Springs. So glad you could join us this morning. Hope everybody out there is doing well. Hope you have your coffee, water, tea, whatever you drink in the morning to get your day going. Hopefully, you have that with you because you are in for a treat just like every Tuesday. Every Tuesday, we have phenomenal guests that come to the show, and not to mention phenomenal viewers that join us. So, if you have never joined us before, let me just take a moment to tell you about this show and what this platform's all about. So, on this show, we interview small business owners so that they can share their story, their background, and you get a deeper understanding of their journey and where they've came and where they're at now and how they got there. Of course, we always share their products and services because this is about support, 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 right? Small businesses need all of our support. Not only do we support small business owners, we connect community because without community, none of us can be successful, right? We all need each other for collaboration. So that's what this show is all about. And every Tuesday, I bring on a phenomenal guest. They're always special. I say it every week, but I mean, gosh, we every week I learn so many nuggets and jewels and have inspiration. So I hope that by the time this show's over, you get some inspiration or some nuggets too. Without further ado, let me bring on our guest for today. Good morning, Gequinn.
Good morning.
How are you?
I am wonderful. Thank you so much. How are you doing, Jessica?
I'm fabulous. I'm ready to go. I'm always ready to go on Takeover Tuesday. So excited you're
Good.
here. Thrilled to chat more. We've already chatted behind the scenes, but can't wait to hear more. And I'm sure I'm probably going to learn some new things in this interview too. So I'm really excited to have you here.
Great. Thank you so much.
Yes, I'd like to give your official introduction. This is Gequinn Mattox of Yourz by Dezign Events. And I'm going to let her get into the details of what she does and how she does it and who she is. So, Gequinn, we just jump right in if that's okay with you. And we're going to just,
That's fine.
okay, we're going to start with your background. Give us a bit about who you are.
Okay. My background professionally, I've been with the University of Colorado for over 17 years. But as far as my event planning business, I've been doing events for over 10 years. And it all started with my love for family and gatherings and times of celebration. I wasn't formally trained for this. This is something that the love grew for that out of the love for my family and coming together. And so that's when I realized that event planning was my thing. It was something that I loved, loved, loved to do. It just represented me being a celebration type person, love, wanting to have that connection with my family. It was instilled in me from a very young age. So it was kind of a natural progression. It meshed a little bit with my formal training, which was more of, executive assistant, coordinator type training that I received. So that, along with my love for event planning and celebrations, it was just like a great connection. So that's how it all started from back then to now.
Yeah, I love it. And it's so cool because as me and Jaquin get to know each other, and I have to say a fun fact. You were a viewer of the show, and I love that. You jumped on and you were just engaging. And so we got her on the show. So here's the thing, if you're a viewer and you've never been on the show and you have a business, reach out to us because definitely we'd love to have you on. So that's how I met Jaquin. And the rest is
Yes.
history, right? Also,
Hmm.
another fun
Hmm.
fact, I got my start in the business or in entrepreneurism in events. So that was the base of my business for a long time. So you and I can definitely relate on a whole bunch of levels when it comes
Oh
to,
my goodness, yes.
yes.
Love it.
So tell us about, I know you've talked to me about it. I want you to share with our viewers, even though you've been doing this for a long time, you've recently taken the plunge. So talk about that.
Okay. Everybody knows this whole COVID thing. And of course, it's been very detrimental, but at the same time, it's been that springboard that I needed to go ahead and take that plunge. I had all these lemons, so I decided let's make some lemonade because it was like becoming overwhelming. It's like I got to do something with this. So being at home and being shuttered at home, not being able to go to work, not being able to go out and socialize, it gave me the time that I needed to go ahead and take that extra step and become a business owner. So I did that. I went on, I became an official LLC and made this business, this love, this passion that I have, I made it a real full-time business. And it has been great. I'm so glad that I did it. I'm not glad for the reasons why I did it, but I had that opportunity, even after I logged off from work, I had nowhere to go. So that gave me all the time I needed to do the proper research, join lots of webinars, different event planning groups to get, that background, that more of a formal training because I've been doing this just by referrals and people knowing what I can do and wanting me to help them to do events and chair this event or do this wedding or this reunion. So, but I was just doing that on my terms, the way I wanted. I was just kind of freelancing. So, but now it's more formalized. So that's what I'm doing now. And I'll never, I don't regret it. There's some parts of it I don't love. I'm not like gotta run this business thing. It's like I just want to plan events. Somebody else run this business back here, so we're gonna get there. But I have to learn different parts of it, and I will do that. But it's been great. It's been great.
Yeah. So I like that you're really honest. I know when we chatted, you were saying that about the business, and that's a real thing. Like we need to talk about. I feel like we need to talk about that for a moment because I feel like small business owners feel the pressure to be like, oh, I love every part of this. This is an amazing journey. It's all exciting. There are parts that we just don't want to do. I can speak to that too. They're mundane. Maybe it's not your forte.
Mhm.
So but like you said, when you're starting out as an official LLC, you typically have to learn those things. So what is your trick to dealing with learning all those aspects? Like you tell me what you do.
I surround myself with people that know how to do that stuff.
There you go.
And I reach out to my resources in the different event planning groups that I'm in on Facebook, the private groups. And I reach out to them for input and resources. And even some have offered to say, look, let's jump on a Zoom call if you want me to help you show you how to do this, that. So that's major. I do a lot of webinars, but sometimes even when you do webinars, you walk away like, that was too much. Too much information is also overwhelming. So you have to be able to pick out those pieces of information that are going to help you and then fall back on your resources. And I've done that. So, but I just need to make sure that I get my business going and then I can have someone else doing that in the background because even though, it's important for you to know how your business should be run, but even if it's something that you don't like to do, you can give that to someone, but you should still know how it's ran. So if anything ever happened, you can keep your eye on things. Just so you know how to run your business and what needs to be done. So
Yes.
yeah, but it's not pretty.
I know it's a lot to it, but as we were talking about, just taking those baby steps, and
Yeah.
I know you're doing that. I want to switch gears a little bit about so with your over the years, you've done tons of events. What makes you stand out now in current day and COVID, and what makes you unique from others that are
Well,
doing?
what makes me unique is me. I'm
Mhm.
unique. There's only one me. And what I bring to the table is going to be different than what somebody else brings to the table. And I'm not saying that in a boastful, conceited type way, but I am unique
Uh-huh.
just because of who I am. And I've always been that way since a teenager. Always wanted to do things differently. I wanted to try different things. I didn't want to go with the norm. I wanted something a little different because it excited me. So that's what makes me different. I have years of experience in different areas, different types of events, from chairing fundraising luncheons, doing reunions in state and out of state, doing weddings in state, out of state, 2 day weddings. That was really fun. And when the couple approached me, Jessica, I was like, oh my gosh, a 2 day wedding. But it was like there was that challenge, there was that uniqueness. So I was like, I got to do this. So I said yes. I did my research, and it came off so beautifully. And so I just, and to me, what I do, Jessica, is not for just for the paycheck, just for the payday. It's a love and a passion, and it shows in everything that I do. And I've had many people tell me that. And when you love something, when you're passionate about something, it's gonna show. You just can't contain it, and that's where I am. I'm not just here to get your money and let's do this event and let's move on to the next one. I love event planning. I love making people happy. I love infusing my love and passion into every event that I do. And, we all need some happiness. We've always needed it, but we really, really need it now. And I just want people to know that I'm in it 150%. When I commit, I'm committed, and there's nothing else that matters to me at that time. So they get all of me and everything I bring to the table, including all of my master team, which is a part of who I am as well. So,
Yeah. Well, just from knowing the short time I have, definitely I feel like I get that energy from you. You have such a vibrant personality, and
thank you.
you're just so happy. And I mean, I just gotten that every single time I've interacted with you. So I believe it. I
Thank
don't
you.
yeah,
Thank you
believe
so
it.
much.
And like you said, that's what makes you you and unique and sets you apart. So I say the same thing. Like when it comes to events, like not doing it all for the money. Definitely love to do it, but we do need to get you paid.
Yes. Yes, ma'am.
Say I do, not to speak for you, but I will say that's one thing, as at least as a small business owner, I struggled with in the industry was
Mhm.
people wanting to pay adequate. I don't
Right,
know what your experience was. So although we
right.
love to do what we do, I don't want to speak
Mhm.
for you, but I think it's
Right,
important to definitely pay, especially event planners, what they're worth, because I ran
right.
into that problem all the time. People thought,
Yes.
oh, well, you're just an added bonus to my event. I'm like, no,
No.
event planners make the whole event go.
Exactly. Oh my goodness. Without, we bring that everything to the table. And a lot of times it's good to break it down for them so they can realize there are things that they don't think about that they think automatically happen. No, nothing automatically happens if it's not orchestrated and set at the beginning. Then yes, it will automatically happen. But you have to push that button, lay that foundation to make it happen. So
Yeah,
there are a lot of things that they don't think about, that you think of, and that gets done. Right.
absolutely. And I have to
Hmm.
stop you there. I want to say good morning. We've got Daniel joining us, Manushka, Andrea, Regina. Good morning, you all. Thank you so much for tuning in and sharing this morning with us. These are all of them are business owners too. They're all
Yeah.
small business owners, so they can relate to all this, I'm sure. So you're as we're talking about that process,
Hmm.
take us through your process as an event planner, what you first do when someone initiates contact and wants you as their event planner. What does that process look like?
Well, the first thing I do is I reach out and have what I call a discovery call. That gives me a chance to fill them out, see what what they want. Just and not it's not all business when we first connect. I need to find out what their likes are, what their dislikes are. Are they a family person? Are they're more of a professional, and families on the side, not like on the side in the bad way, but you know, um, and just get a feel for them of who they are as an individual. Then we delve into what it is that they're looking for, what type of things they like. And you learn a lot about people just from having a regular conversation, just the things that they talk about. It lets you know where they are and what they want, and things like that. So I definitely do that first. Get to know them on that discovery call. Then we get into all the legalities of it, and all the formalness of it, and then we go from there. And then from that, what the information I get, I go back, I put together what I think that they want, what I gathered from my notes, and then I go back to them and present them with what I think that they want. And then we talk about it. And then from there, then we get into the whole legal, okay, let's put this under contract. We're going to move forward with this whole process. So that's usually how it started. And then we get to work.
Yeah,
Well,
yeah.
mhm,
So you
yeah.
mentioned contracts, and I have to say, and of course, I'm going to chime in a lot here because you and I both do this. So I'm sorry, I'm not trying to take over your
No,
interview, but
this, hey, I'm here. I'm here for you. Yes.
just because I think this is good to talk about
Hmm.
for the public to hear. So you talk about contracts. I don't
Hmm.
know what your experience has been, but when I was doing a lot of events, people kind of got scared and concerned about contracts. It's very interesting because for
Yeah.
me, I thought, well, this is just part of it. Uh,
Right.
but a lot of people seem to be very resistant towards event contracts. I
Right.
can't speak to any, the other industries. What has been your experience with that, and how have you handled it when you present the agreement or the contract?
Well, I'm honest with them. I say, I know this seems like a lot. And then what I do is I go through it with them line by line. Yes, some of, I try to have my contract to be not so long, no more than 3 pages. Because there are a lot of legalities that I didn't even think of as an event planner. Because, like I said, I've been doing my own thing. I've been taking people at their word. I've had some sort of a contract. Yes, I put that in place, but it wasn't as detailed as this. And now with the COVID, there's a whole nother aspect of it that you have to add in addition to the acts of God. Then you have to, now you have this pandemic part of it, that's a part of it. So I'm honest with them. I let them know, yes, it looks like a lot, but these are the things that we have to do. I have to protect me and my brand. You have to be protected. So if I don't hold up my end of the bargain, you can do what you need to do, and I can do what I need to do. But it's just part of the process, and it has to be done. I tell them, look, it's like when you buy a house, when you rent an apartment, when you get a car, you're signing. Same thing. It's a service. It's a purchase. So you have to have that in place for not just my protection, but for your protection as well. And it's just a part of the process. And I just try to make it as easy as possible, go through it with them. And at the end, it's like, look, as long as everybody do what they're supposed to do, we won't need to revisit this again.
Right, right. No, that's completely true. And Manushka, she hit it right on the nose.
Yeah,
Contracts equal protection, and
exactly.
you just said that, and I know I share
Hmm.
that with my clients all the time. And I like what
Hmm.
you said on both sides. I think
Hmm.
people tend to automatically think, oh, it's protecting the contractor, but they don't think I'm actually we're looking out for you as well. Um,
That's right.
if we don't do our job, then
Hmm.
we're going to have the consequences as well.
That's right.
Definitely is on both sides. And
Yeah.
also, Manushka says understanding and managing expectation is key.
Yes.
Absolutely, 100%.
Yeah.
Good point, Manushka.
Yep, it definitely lays out everything that's expected of me and what's expected of you. And everybody just has to follow that contract. And we'll be, like I said, if everybody does what they're supposed to do, we'll be okay. And we won't have to revisit this. But it's a clear, um, um, not just a contract, but it lays out, it's like a work order, a scope of work. This is what's expected of you, and this is what's expected of me. Right,
Absolutely. And I think it's good to talk about that real side. Speaking of when it doesn't work out, I don't know. Again,
right,
I want you to talk about your experiences because I know the reality is it doesn't happen to me often, but in that
right,
industry,
right.
definitely it has happened to me where
Mhm.
part of the contract hasn't been met or things haven't gone as well. Talk about if you've been through that and how you handled that.
Well, thank God, no, I haven't been through that yet. By the grace of God, and I'm thankful, but I'm still gonna cover myself. It's still like you don't expect to go out and have a car wreck, but you got insurance just in
Yeah,
case. So,
yeah.
yeah, but yeah, I have it, and I pray that I won't, but it's a part of life, and I'll be prepared to have to deal with that if I have to. So, yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
Well, let's discuss your services because of course you do event services, but I know with every event planner that looks different. All of us in the industry, some of us do packaging, some of us do hourly, some of it, and that is always at least a big question that I get is uh, how do your services work? So let's talk about how you run your services and what that looks like.
Okay. I have a few services, not a lot because it can get overwhelming. So I do full service, which is I work with you from beginning to end and everything in between. I help you to secure all of your vendors and your venue, and that includes your venue. Um, from the start out, we start out like about a year out, and then we work together that whole year and putting everything together. And it includes event management, which is the day of. So I'm also there for you on that day. Then I have what I call is just event management, and that is I take over about 45 days out where you've put everything. You've gone and you've got your photographer, you've got your videographer, but there are still a couple vendors that you need help with, and you need someone like me to come in and get everybody together. So you can go off and have a great time being a bride, being a groom, and enjoy that part. So you release that to me, and now I take over to make sure everyone does what they're supposed to do. There's where they're supposed to be. I communicate with those vendors. I put together the timeline so everyone will know what they're supposed to be doing. So I also do that event management. I also have what I call intimate weddings, which is an all-inclusive type packaging where everything is included. So it takes the guesswork out of what you need and includes certain hours for videographer, photographer, your floral, and your venue for a certain amount of hours. And it all comes in one package, which I'm calling my intimate wedding, which is for 50 people or up to 50 people. You could do that service. Then I'm working on rolling out a new service where I work with the restaurant industry using their private event space, where we're calling it a dinner for two or celebration for eight, where I go in and do a beautiful tablescape. You have a prefix menu that you choose from, and then you can upgrade that with your meal. You can upgrade it by adding wine to it, and then also you get a small takeaway gift provided by my partner Jeffrey B. Jeweler, and we give you a little takeaway gift, a little wine glass charm that you could take with you, and it's all for one price. You pick the color that you want. There's a limited color because we could get all over the place, and we're trying to keep it a nice package for you. So if you want to do a dinner, you want it to be something more than just going into the restaurant, you want to have your own private space, we make it look beautiful, so you just show up, have a good time, and leave. So I'm still working on that. And then I have some VIP events that I'll be doing too that I'm going to be working on. So I am able to do VIP events as well. So that's basically my five packages, my five, areas.
Thank you. And I like that extra touch. That's really neat. I like how I think that's really important in small business. How you mentioned that you're partnering with somebody and giving
Hmm.
those added services or things just to add that special uniqueness to it. So I love that you're doing that.
Right. Thank you. Thank
Yeah.
you. It's
So
exciting.
so during these times of we're still going through the COVID situation and things progressing, talk about that now. How does that look with your events kind of going into this opening up season, so to speak?
Well, this opening up season is good. I've gotten some bookings in, regardless of situation. Everybody's excited. But at the same time, what I've noticed is everybody's still cautious. And that's great. But what I did to help with that during the COVID, also, I went and took a course and became a pandemic compliance advisor so that I can go a step further. I have the knowledge of how to go beyond the basics of or the norm of sanitizing, washing your hands. We take it a step further. We work with the venue to come up with an exit plan, checking people in to make sure that we have a way so that if something happens at your event, then what you're going to do? Do you have a plan? What's going to happen? What should happen? So being able to do, and there's a whole bunch of other things that people don't even think about that have to do with that. So we're doing that as well to let people know that we're okay. And if you want these extra measures, I'm able to do that and able to provide that for you. And everybody is they're ready to go. Some are keeping it, they're still keeping it small, but then you still have the ones that still want to do those larger events, which is fine. But we still need to be cautious and make sure. And some people even say everybody has to be vaccinated to attend. And that is their prerogative. But the only thing I advise is that if you do that, let people know well in advance. When you send out that save the date, you're 5 months out. Let them know then that these are, the requirements so that people are prepared. But I I haven't missed a beat so far, so I'm looking forward to more events, spreading more happiness and love, and being there to support everybody that wants to get out and do events.
Yes, that's an excellent tip. I love that tip that you just gave,
Mhm.
about letting people know ahead of time with that vaccination. There's, like you said, good point. There's so many new things to think about as we
Yeah,
navigate these COVID times, and
yeah.
isn't going away completely for
Mhm.
who knows how long.
Right,
So we
right,
definitely all need to be thinking and planning as much as we can about these things. So great, excellent points. Uh,
right.
Daniel says Miss Gequinn is a phenomenal planner. She's
Oh,
really invested in providing her clients with a memorable experience.
oh, thank you, Daniel. Yes, indeed. I'm so glad that he realizes that he knows that. But yes, I'm glad that came across. But
Yes,
that's what I'm all about. Thank you, Daniel.
yes.
That's my guy. That's my web designer.
Nice. I love it. Well, I didn't, when we talked, I didn't know that. I mean, you've talked about
Right,
your web designer, but you didn't say his name. So I love
right,
that. I love it.
right. Yeah, yeah.
Excellent. Excellent. All these connections.
Yes.
And that's what it's about. So
Mhm.
before we go, I don't want to run out of time without getting to a few key elements that we need to hit on. So
Okay.
talk about how do people get in touch with you if they want to schedule a discovery and look into or interested in your services. How do they get in touch with you currently right
Okay, they can go to my website, which is YBD for Yours by Design, and then you spell out events.com. YBDevents.com. They can also email me at yoursbydesign13 at gmail.com. Spelled just like my business name, Yourz by design, Dezign 13 at gmail.com. Or shoot me a text. People are into that. Sometimes I can't talk to my daughter unless I get a text. So 720 352
now? Okay. And then Jaquin, what we'll do is let's get these in the comments after the show.
Okay.
We'll type those in the comments so that everybody has those, definitely, because I want them to have that
Great.
information. Talk about,
Okay.
are you on social media yet? And tell us about that.
We're working on that. We're literally working on that as we speak. I have a virtual assistant that I'm working with. So she's literally, her and her assistant are literally in the background right now, building my Facebook for biz, building my IG for biz. And I did do my Google business, but that still has to be built up. So, like I said, look, this is that business side that I was telling you guys about earlier. It's a lot. That's a job
Uh-huh.
within itself. It's
It
run all,
is. Yeah, but you're
oh
doing
my
it, and that's what matters. That's what
Oh
matters.
my goodness. So, but it's coming. I will make an announcement once that's ready. But it is coming, and but I want it to be right. I don't like doing anything half, keep the words clean, halfway. It's all about, and it's a representation of me. And I'd rather take my time and do it right than go fast and do it wrong. So I'm not going anywhere. So we'll take our time and roll it out as it's prepared properly.
Yes, good. Is there anything before we have to go and log off that you would like to share that we didn't get to share or you didn't get to share? Is there something that you want to leave our audience with?
Well, the only thing I want to say is that please know that I am here for you. I have taken all of my years of experience and I've put them into everything that I do. I'm here for you to take all that stress away, that uncertainty, and not knowing what to do, how to do it. And it's not that difficult. And I am here to help you no matter what your event is, what you need. I'm here to take all that away. So don't worry about it. Just get in touch with me. And just know that you are my number one priority. And you're going to feel like that. And I'm going to treat you with the utmost respect and do all that I can, use all of my resources to make it an event that will leave everybody at a loss for words. So thank you so much. And I hope to talk to everybody real soon.
Yes, thank you, Jaquin.
You're
Oh,
welcome.
we have one more thing from Manushka. Is there anything that has come up during COVID that you think will stick once we get back to being in person again in regards to events?
I think this whole mask thing is something that keeps coming up for me. And people are saying, well, if we get the vaccine, then we won't have to social distance, we won't have to wear the mask. Well, until they have more um, real data on that and them tossing around, well, we may have to do this again in a year, and does it really work? So to me, just still being cautious is still going to stick. You're not going to go back to just letting stuff all out like we used to for the buffets and having food open in the atmosphere and having people being able to grab their hands in. Those things are going to stick around for a while. Just that little extra cautiousness with regard to interaction and then how we serve the food, it's going to stay around for a little while. I'm thinking at least till next year, and then by then we'll have more data as well. So that's
I
what we're
agree
looking
with
for.
you. It all makes
Hmm.
sense, and I agree with you. I think that's exactly what's going to happen. And I don't know. It sounds like I know all the whole interview you've talked about that it's better to be safer than sorry, essentially. And I'm right with
Hmm.
you on that. So
Hmm. Hmm.
that's what's important.
Yeah.
And Manushka says, "I will never eat from a."
Come on, Manushka. You're gonna be all right. As long as they got it covered up and they serving you, you okay.
Oh man. But we're not even gonna get into that, and I'm
Right.
not an expert, so I'm sure. But again, I don't know. Watching all this stuff on TV and stuff, they're saying that so far, evidence the food contamination stuff isn't really like they haven't shown a correlation. Uh
Right.
anyways, I'm
Exactly
not
right.
just don't
Right.
quote me on that, nobody.
Right. You
I'm just saying.
don't want no suing going on because you
Yeah,
said that's when that professional liability insurance is gonna kick
I'm
in
just saying.
because Jessica said it.
Oh, well, Jaquin, it's been a pleasure. I would
Thank you.
love to have you back for sure. And I know you and
Yay.
I will be in contact.
Yes, we will.
We have lots of things in common. I wouldn't be surprised if we partnered together on something. That would be fun. That would be really fun. And
That would be
if anything,
great.
if anything, we'll have a bourbon together. So we found, for those of
Right.
you watching, we were chatting before we went live and figured out that we both like bourbon. So we're just like, oh yeah, that is a good excuse to get together.
Yes.
So, all right. Well, Jaquin, it has been truly lovely to have you on. And
Thank you.
yes, I just continue to shine and grow. And I can't wait to see what all the new things you're going to do with your LLC. I know you've been doing this for a long time, but I'm
Thank you.
excited for you. So, congratulations on the LLC and that
Thank you so much.
process.
Thank you, Jessica. And all the best to you as well.
Yes, thank you. All
You're welcome.
right. Well, this is Takeover Tuesdays. I'm Jessica Springs. Until next time, stay inspired. See you then.